Got something a little different for everybody today. This is a great lesson in why you don't shit talk better players than you, especially when they're going to put the game on YouTube. So T54 on Northwest, I'm going to push straight to B2 to try and stop them from getting any tanks on the A-line ridge. If we can control that ridge, we'll probably win the game. If we fail to control it, we'll probably lose. Team's spreading out fairly evenly. Looks like we got an AFK. Oh look, the enemy JP2 has suicided his tank. This will be important in a minute. He's just driven his fucking JP2 right into the middle of the map where he's got no real cover. That's him getting beaten up on, you can hear. I spot the enemy T71 charging at our ridge. I gotta take him out before he spots all our TDs and heavies. So I put one into him to track him and then just work him over. Enemy JP2 is already dead. He suicided his tank and now he's going to bitch about it. Here you go, whatever, bullshit Russian programming. No, that's called being fucking terrible. You don't drive a large, weakly armoured German TD into the middle of a fucking map where it's going to have to brawl. That's got nothing to do with the game's programming and everything to do with the fact he's fucking terrible at playing his tank. Shit has always come up with excuses. So get a shot into the SU-122-54. He starts talking shit. I can't see those TDs anymore, so I decide to back off. Don't want to get hit for a lot of my health by something I can't see. Try and use the folds in the terrain to move up on them without being spotted. I think I have a shot here, but he's behind the coal pile. It's just because of the height of the third-person camera that I can get outline. I try and climb up here, but it's too steep. So I come on this side instead. The 50B starts talking shit as well. I don't know why. Obviously he thought he was really cool and decided to involve himself in the argument. It was a really big mistake on his part. Fucking 49%er talking shit like he's good. So I'm trying to spot these TDs. 50B's pushed all the way up. I decide to back off instead of push, and I'll go around the other side of the map. This 50B really starts shooting his mouth off. Just owned your IS-3. Congrats on doing damage to a tier 8 tank in a tier 10 tank. That's really amazing. I'm sure nobody could do that. Middle's kind of open, and our IS-8 is still a botting piece of shit. But we do have enough tanks around there at least to respond if they push through there. So I'm just trying to respot the tanks here. I relight him. But I don't want to push on those heavies, so I back away. Some heavies down here I'm going to deal with. Make a couple of bad shots at the T-34 which just bounce off the sides and rear of his turret. Aiming at the Tiger 2 here, but he crosses behind the T-34. I decide to take the shot anyway, but it hit too high, bounced off the T-34's gun mantlet. Get side turret there, but just clip the back of it and bounce off. I could have been a scrub and gone to heat, but there's no point. It's expensive and there's really no call for it on the T-34. I just need to shoot better. So I start beating up on the tiger too while he's spotted. Track him and then back away, because I don't know how much stuff they've got covering them, and I'm worried that the 50B is going to rush me from behind. So I just keep beating up on the tiger. Rheinmetall's coming. At this stage I thought he was going to peek over, but I think he was actually positioning to shoot our guys in the middle. Take a shot at the ISU but miss it. And he gets wiped out by our ISU, which means I'm safe to push up. So I'm just looking for shots on the tiger here. Can't find any, so I push. T-34 is behind a rock, which makes him an easy target. He's separated himself out from the rest of his team. I just push straight into him. He's got no cover. All the other heavies are covering north. He isn't even looking my way. I didn't need to take this hit. I could have maneuvered better to avoid it, but at this point I don't really care. It's pretty obviously going to be a win. Decide to leave the heavies for TA and alleviated risk, and I push into the enemy base. They've still got an E4 that hasn't been lit, and sure enough he's camping in the back like a complete shitter. Protecting Artie, no doubt. I skirt the edge of their base so I can stay unspotted for as long as possible. Get a shot off at the T-92. He shotguns, splashes me. Get a quick track shot on the E4 and make him waste his shot into the building. I load heat just because E4s are a pain in the ass. One shot into him, I work my way around the back. He's repaired his track by now. I get a quick shot into his side. I think I'm going to die right about here. But thankfully he is either still reloading or absolutely terrible. Trying to clown the T-92 here. But the E4's coming around, so I get a quick shot in and then get erased. AMX 50B says, don't worry, I only outputted 3400 damage. In a tier 10 autoloader, that's nothing to brag about. You can see I've done over 4000 damage in a medium tank. Did better than everyone on our team. No, he didn't actually. He certainly didn't do better than me. If you're going to talk shit at somebody, at least make sure you're actually better than them, or you did actually do better than them in the match. He's fucking terrible. It's probably the best game of that guy's life. That's why he's bragging so much. Should also note, a lot of his damage was on that IS-3 at the start. 54, you're dead, barely outputting any damage. I love how he makes that assumption when I killed a good chunk of his team. Yeah, 4048, more damage than him. Totally not any damage. If you see that guy in a pub match, feel free to make fun of him for how bad he is. And if you are that guy and you're watching this video, shut your fucking mouth.